So, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Jonnychipz Weekly. My name is John Lunn, aka Jonnychipz, and this is episode number 59 on Friday, the 11th of February 2022. So, this is the weekly show for all your Azure news and updates, community callouts, Welsh Azure User Group news, and a little bit about what I've been up to over this last week. So, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this video, and do click that little bell notification. Get notified next time we get some more live content for you. But for now, let's jump straight on over into the show. So yes, hello again everybody, and thanks so much for tuning in once again on this Friday lunchtime. It's lunchtime here in the UK, 12:30 GMT. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be in the world. Thanks so much for tuning in for this episode. We're on episode number 59. I've called this week's episode Clouding Around because that's what I feel like I've been doing for the last week or so. Well, actually, probably since we came back for the new year. There's just so much going on at the moment, just so much going on. It's kind of like, for those of you that have been following this series, I've been trying to get onto this kind of multi-cloud journey, learn a little bit more around the other cloud vendors, such as AWS and G-Cloud. It's going okay, but there's so much more noise that's getting in the way at the moment. So yeah, I feel like I very much am clouding around. But anyway, for now, usual format this week. We'll jump on over in a second, do our community call-outs for the week. Tell you a little bit about the things that I've been up to this week and the other episodes of various podcasts and blogs and things like that are coming up that I've been involved with over the last week or so. And of course, we'll do the obligatory Azure news and updates. So for now, let's jump on over and see what our community callouts are for this week. Okay, so first up, really pleased to be taking part in this UK Tech Community Day, organised by Adam Jackson and the amazing team over at Microsoft, really getting together a whole bunch of community peeps on the 17th of February to kind of talk a little bit around what community is. You'll get to see a lot of good, fantastic community members. They give us some talks and videos and things like that. So if you are interested, head on over aka.ms/community day. Go and get yourself registered, signed up, and then you can see there's a little bit of an agenda. I'm going to be doing a little talk, hello from the Welsh Azure User Group, and just talking about setting up our first hybrid event and some of the gotchas and the experience that we had. So, look, it's going to be a fab day. I hope that you can jump in and consume some of that content of the day. Like I say, it's 17th of February. It's starting at 10 a.m. GMT, and it's going right the way through to 6 p.m. GMT. So, yeah. Please do jump on over aka.ms/community day and get yourself registered. It'd be great to see you there. In other news, Jack Tracy announced this week that the Bicep, the Azure Landing Zone Bicep modules have been completed and uploaded into the Azure/ALZ-Bicep Git repo. So yeah, if you are looking to deploy your landing zones, using Bicep, you've got the modules to do just that now. So thanks to Jack and the team over at Microsoft. They are open to contributions to that, so comments, contributions. They've obviously got the Terraform modules up. They've been up a little while now. We use them with my job quite a lot at the moment. So definitely going to check these out. Just to kind of see if we can get some comparisons between the two. Investigate what it's like to manage those policy rules and things like that. See what kind of features and functionality we've got in there. But yeah, great to see. So head on over, take a look at that if you are interested. And thanks to Jack and the team for making that possible. Superb. Okay, and in other news, some book announcements. So really pleased to be a reviewer for Dwayne's book here on the SC300 exam prep guide. So the Microsoft Identity and Access Administrator exam guide. That's out now. Go and pre-order. Go and get it on Amazon. That's the SC300 from Dwayne Natwick. And in the same vein, we've got Shabazz and Victor have launched their SC400 exam prep guide. So it's all with Packet. That's available again if you head on over to Amazon. You can get that on order right now and get it delivered. So yeah, super to be rubbing shoulders with some awesome people in the community. Great to see they're doing some fantastic books. So if you are interested, go and check those out. So yeah, thanks all for that. And in other news, I noticed John had tweeted this out about talks he'd done. I took a look at it, and he's done some fantastic talks over the last year or so. Of course, John has been a guest on the Welsh Azure user group, and he's got links to all his talks here. I thought I'd call it out because he has been up to some fantastic things the last, about a year or so. I think John has been predominantly active in the community giving these talks. Go and check that out because there are some fantastic bits and pieces in there. And of course, he was on the Azure, the Welsh Azure Use Group here back in October, talking about breaking monolithic websites up using Azure. So thanks for that, John. Go and check that out. And sticking with the theme of John Kilmister, I noticed my good friend Martin Coupland has got his own podcast off the ground, The Cloud Talking, and his first guest was John. So go and check that out. They talk about serverless compute and the sandwich years, whatever that might be. So, go and check that out. It's on anchor.fm, or just go and follow Martin at Mr. Coops, Coups. And, go and give that a subscribe, follow, go and show some support. That'd be awesome. And moving on, yes, this was announced actually a week or two ago now. It's got some fantastic traction. I'm really looking forward to making myself available to see this session from Brendan Burns. So it's all about cloud native, as you'd imagine, in the Azure platform. And Brendan is one of those people in the Microsoft space. He's corporate vice president. He's massively involved with the cloud native community, and he's one of those guys that is kind of really central to the whole open source movement there and what's been going on around Kubernetes and things like that. So look, I'm a relative newbie to the world of Kubernetes and cloud native when it comes to learnings and knowing what's going on, but look, this is enough for me to kind of sit up and take notice. So I'm really looking forward to watching this session from Brendan, organised by some great people across the community. So if you are interested, go and get yourself signed up. If you go on to Meetup and do a search for Azure Cloud Native, you should be able to find this. But equally, if you follow Pixel Robots or Carl_IT Nerd, I think is his handle on Twitter, or April Edwards, they've all retweeted this out, and I tweeted it out a couple of times. But if you do a search for Azure Cloud Native on Meetup, you should be able to find that there. So really looking forward to that one. Go and check that out. And in terms of events, there's Azure Lowlands is back out now. They're setting that up for the June the 30th. They got their website up and running. They're looking for a call for speakers as well. So I know this was going around for a little while, but there's some great events that are kind of popping up again now. Now we're able to get back out and about. We're not locked down to the confines. So it's great to see some people now starting to make plans to travel, to all different parts of Europe for events. So look, if you are interested, this is one of the good ones that I certainly took note of last year. So do check that out and get involved if you can. So yeah, thank you for that. And in other news, finally, I dabble with Linux every now and again while I'm playing with various bits and pieces, and this just crossed my eyes. I thought it was a great little tidbit of information to share. So thanks to @NICraft on Twitter, just sharing this command line cheat sheet for Git, Mac, Linux, all sorts of stuff. So there's just various different bash commands that always help to if you are on the early part of your journey with learning a little bit more about Linux, maybe learning a little bit more about containerization or DevOps and pipelines and that kind of stuff, these commands are always handy to kind of have to hand. So save that off if you can. So yeah, thanks to everybody for your community contributions for this week. And like I say, I always say it, I've missed lots, but I always do. So this is just the bits that have caught my eye. So go and check those out and show some support. That'd be super duper. Okie dokie, yes, so let's move on relatively quickly. We'll talk a little bit about what's been going on with the Welsh Azure user group this week. So let's head back on over. So yes, the Welsh Azure user group, as everybody that follows me may know, that this is a monthly event. Up to now, we've managed to do one hybrid event back in I think it was September, October time. September, I think it was. And that went relatively well, considering, but we were still in a state of lockdown. So we're looking for the next point that we can do another hybrid event. We were hoping for it to be March, as in next month, but it's not looking likely because of the availability of the room that we were going to use and things like that. So it may well be that we'll postpone it for another month or two. But yeah, watch this space for March's announcements. But we are now officially a member of the Azure tech groups on Meetup, which kind of gives us this link to all the other tech groups. So if you head on over to Meetup and search for Azure tech groups, you can see that we're actually there. We're listed on the map finally. If I zoom in, you can see that we are there. We are represented by a little red dot in the heart of Wales. So that's us, the Welsh User Group. But equally, you can see all these other fantastic groups that are spread globally, effectively. So you can see there are 138 groups registered with the Azure tech groups. And look, you can get links to every session that's on. And there are a lot, as you'd expect, with there being 138 groups. There are more than one per day. But you can see all the groups that are a member of this this particular kind of organization. This is your tech group. And you can see there's a superb number of members in there. So, like I say, please do reach out, say hello, take part. But you can find us a little bit more easily, I guess. Our next meetup is actually on the 16th of Feb, which is next week. So next Wednesday, we've got Heiko Bren and Marcel Lupo joining us to do 2 awesome talks. So RSVP on the meetup page or go and follow at Welsh Azure on Twitter. That would be awesome. And yeah, like I said, we'd be really happy to see you there. Please do join us if you can. Super duper. Okay, so I think we will jump straight on over to see what I've been up to this week. Been various bits and pieces on the go this week. Like I say, it's been a little bit hectic as of late because of everything that's going on, but still managed to get a fair few bits and pieces on the side. So let's go and check those out. First up, episode number 4 has been released of our Silver Linings Runbook. So myself, James Storr, Dan Stradlin, I put together this weekly podcast called the Silver Linings Runbook, where we just kind of have a bit of a chat around a theme. We're aiming to get guests on the show. You know, we're not always all going to be on the episodes, but it's a bit of a fun half an hour or so. Just the 3 of us, we work together, just have a bit of a chew the fat over a certain technology area, talk about something very specific, or give some anecdotal bits and pieces about what's been going on in our day jobs, things like that. If you can join us, hopefully it's a little bit of a fun half an hour. Hopefully we say and put out some relatively decent information and talk about things that are relevant. But do, yeah, go and give us a like and a follow. We are on Twitter at SLR Podcast. That would be great. So yeah, episode 4 has been released, early hours of this morning, I believe it was. So there we go. And in other news, in case you missed it, Kevin Evans was my first guest on In Conversation With of 2022. That episode aired last Friday. Please do go and check that out. Kevin's an awesome guy across the community. He's doing some brilliant things, working at Microsoft at the moment. He's got a really great backstory in terms of where he came from, in terms of how he got into tech and his career path. Really worth a listen if you can spare the time. And yeah, huge thanks to Kevin for being an awesome guest, of course. So, as it is Friday and we are back into the swing of things, we've got another episode out tonight of In Conversation with Mr. Heiko Bren. Super duper guy across the community again. You know, it's just, this is what it's about, isn't it? It's meeting all these brilliant people that are doing some awesome stuff. I have a great chat with Heiko. He's into so much at the moment. Predominantly automation, PowerShell with ScriptRunner, the company that he's working for at the moment. But we talk around a whole heap of things on there tonight. So please do join us from 6:30 tonight. It'll be going out across all the usual suspects. So Twitch, Twitter, LinkedIn, and of course YouTube. So please do like, subscribe, get notified, all that good stuff if you can. It really would help and support my channel. So thanks to Heiko. Looking forward to that. We're going out later this evening. If you can join us, that would be awesome. And moving on, yeah, great to see with the Cloud Community quiz that we did a couple of weeks back in January. Brilliant to see both Alan and Andy have tweeted out they've received their prizes. You know, huge thanks to Elgato for sponsoring us with a bunch of prizes that we can give out at these events. Again, the idea is that we'll do these once a month. Do you know, I haven't even had a chance to sit down with Dean and work out this month's quiz, so might need to do that relatively soon, because it's normally the week after the Welsh Azure user group is I think the cadence we set. But anyway, like I say, a great gift box there from Elgato with the Stream Deck Mini, coffee cup, pen, notepad and pen, things like that. And congratulations again to Alan for winning that. Equally, some awesome swag there from Microsoft in terms of the Azure hoodie, backpack, water bottle, and some various stickers and bits and pieces. So congrats to Andy there as well. So it's great to see those tweets coming back. The gift, the boxes actually got out there, which is good to see. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll make an announcement, I think, on when the next community quiz event will be. So that's pretty cool. In other news, I upgraded to Windows 11 finally. I've been kind of putting it off for a little while because, well, mainly I didn't want to do something to my PC that I'd have to spend, a good fair chunk of time rebuilding or anything like that. But worked out well. I think there was one driver that was kind of a bit in conflict with Windows 11 that I had to go upgrade, which was fine, took all of 2 minutes. And I think the whole process took probably about an hour across downloading Windows 11, upgrading that small little driver set, and then obviously just getting that upgraded on my machine. It was a relatively smooth process, really impressed. Did a few little things to my OBS setup, which, well, you can expect, but it's just whatever, you can get those fixed. But there we go. So I'm running on Windows 11. This is all being recorded via Windows 11 now, so good to see. And finally, this week, I got called out by Elgato again. So they're doing a bit of a LinkedIn campaign at the moment. I feel really honoured that they kind of picked on me in terms of me, the setup that I've got, what I've been up to for the last 18 months, 2 years, and all the awesome Elgato gear that I use. So I know I talk about Elgato quite a lot, but look, it's really cool equipment. In fact, I was on last night looking at the new release of the Elgato Keylight Mini, the battery-powered light, which fantastic. They're always innovating, giving some cool new options and product sets to help us all with our kind of working from home, our meeting, lighting, whatever it may be, audio, video. There's all sorts that Elgato are doing. They're kind of that complete streaming kit of parts, items, features, products that you can use to enhance your experiences. So, look, thanks for calling me out, Elgato. Really is an honour and a privilege. But but that's been me for this week. Okie dokie, so it leaves with just the final remaining part of the show, which of course is the Azure news and updates. So I think we should just get right on with that. Yes, and good afternoon, and welcome to this week's Azure news and updates. We've got our clouds flying there in the sky. Not a great deal of updates this week, in all honesty, so we should be able to get through these reasonably quickly. Let's just call the first one up straight away. So, straight off the bat, we've got private preview of AKS cluster persistent volume backup. So, Azure Backup Service is announcing the preview of the persistent volume backup for AKS. So, if you do have any AKS Kubernetes clusters hosted in Azure, check this out. It's in private preview at the moment. The benefits are recovery from data corruption or deletion of persistent volumes. You can clone or replicate persistent volumes to dev and test environments. You can configure backup for the persistent volumes of stateful application deployed on an AKS cluster, and things like you can restore back one or more persistent volumes on the same or a different cluster. So yeah, cool new features and functionality. Go and check that out. GA announcement, regional deployments for all new and existing IoT central applications. So previously IoT central applications were associated with a geography, and they've now been migrated to a standard Azure region. So there was an update in August 2021 where regional support was introduced for new applications, which is now expanded to all those existing applications as well. So basically it'll allow any existing applications to improve their security posture by taking advantage of secure data egress with managed identities. So there's a whole blog article there on it, so configuring a managed identity to get that in play, but it's gone GA now, so basically you can have those regional deployments for your existing IoT Central applications if that's what you need. So good to see. And moving on, another GA announcement is recovery points are extended to 15 days with Azure Site Recovery. So as we know, ASR or Azure Site Recovery, it does provide that replication ability with policies that kind of govern that retention history, how long we keep backups and recovery points for. So with the rollout of support for longer retention of recovery points, you can now retain recovery points up to 15 days instead of the previous 72 hours. So they will be retained for a frequency of 5 minutes for the first 2 hours. Subsequently, recovery points will be pruned and stored at a lesser frequency. So you can enter any value from 0 to 15 in days. So that's cool to see. And moving on, Azure Site Recovery Updates roll up 60 for January 2022. So there's a whole bunch of updates for ASR. Just quickly looking at it, we've got new distros to Linux OS support for Azure to Azure and VMware/physical to Azure replications. And they've added support for Windows 2022, Server 2022 for Hyper-V to Azure replications. And then, the recovery points for 15 days, like we just mentioned. Replication can be enabled on Azure virtual machines via policy. And zone redundant storage managed disks can be used when replicating Azure VMs as well. So that's out to GA. Those announcements for Azure Site Recovery. Another public preview, I spotted this earlier in the week. So Azure Bastion now supports those file transfers via the native client. So those times when you're kind of on an RDP session and you need to quickly share a file or drag and drop a file and whatnot. Typically, if you're in hypervisor mode or you're in kind of console mode, you can't literally drag and drop or upload files through that. So it looks like we've now got, using either SSH or RDP, you can upload the files to the VM that you're on, connected on via Bastion from your local machine, or you can use RDP to download files from. So that's cool. So it's literally, you can copy and paste between the GUIs, which is cool. Look, it's really simple tweak and change, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. But it just helps with that functionality using Azure Bastion. So good to see. And that's in public preview, must be pointed out. So more announcements for Azure IoT Central. Look, IoT Central is one of those platforms that is a fantastic platform, and they are constantly upgrading, tweaking, and adding bits and pieces to it. So go and check it out. There are a whole heap of announcements around IoT Central, and if you are using it, drop me a comment below. Let me know what you're using it for. What apps have you got running in there? Generally available, improved getting started material in Azure IT Central documentation. Again, like we can see the investments that are going into IoT Central at the moment, improving the documentation. What's the difference between a PaaS and a PaaS offering? I don't know. I don't know what a PaaS is. I don't think I've read a PaaS before, but that's cool. Maybe I need to. How do I extend IoT Central if I'm missing something I need? What are IoT Central scaling limits? Things like that. So all that documentation has been upgraded and updated. So it's probably worth going and checking that out. And finally, find developer resources easily with IoT Central GitHub repository. So there we go. We've got this awesome IoT Central GitHub repo, and it is under Azure/IoT-Central. And it looks like it's a nice markdown file there with links to various bits and pieces surrounding IoT Central. So that's generally available to find those developer resources. So that was the Azure news and updates for this week. Thanks for tuning in. So there we go. Thanks everybody for tuning in for this week. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Yeah, back down to 25 minutes or so. Still kind of hovering around that half an hour mark. So yeah, got a bit of a sniffle this week, so apologies. I'm feeling a bit bunged up, but there we go. I'll live. But for now, thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see everybody next week. Bye for now.